Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode of the National Debates here at the Debate Circle. I'll be your host, Waya Jeffrey. We have a task at hand, and the task is to dissect the motion that states Kenya should adopt cryptocurrencies as a formal means of local trade. Proposing this motion, we have Light Academy, and opposing this motion, we have Nyangwa Boys. All the best to the two teams. First speaker, team proposition, you have 3 minutes.
They say that money talks, but cryptocurrency sings. And I stand here with every tendril of muscle and every cell in my body to strongly propose the motion that states Kenya should adopt cryptocurrencies as a formal means of trade. I embark on this executive journey by first giving a case division of what me and my team shall be indulging in. As the first speaker, I will be providing my arguments and support the case line. The second speaker will be talking about increased transparency, and the third speaker will be talking about increased financial inclusions, as well as giving rebuttals. On to my first point, or as such, I start with the definition of terms. Cryptocurrencies are a digital payment system that doesn't rely on banks to verify transactions. The name cryptocurrency is received because it uses encryption to verify transactions. The aim of encryption is to provide security and safety. This is secured by blockchain. What is a formal means of trade? Well, the formal means of trade refers to the trading on the basis of scientific parameters. In this case, in this country, we talk about cash. And then for my third definition, adapting cryptocurrency. It means recognizing that cryptocurrency is the best risk-adjusted and most liquid investment today. Now, what a dream it would be to achieve majority, let's say all of the sustainability development goals suggested by the UN. Well, we here today are here to show you why this goal can be brought closer. My first point is increased economic activity. Cryptocurrencies can help to increase economic activity by making it easier and cheaper to make payments. This could lead to increased trade and investment, which could benefit the society as a whole, as well as accomplish the sustainable SDG number 8, the decent work and economic growth. Wow. Imagine this. A large bank, instead of transferring cash in a physical representation, using cryptocurrency, this saves cost on securing the cash. This saves cost on transferring the cash itself, as well as preventing, or how I say, vehicle carbon emissions. How you may say this. Remember, the transferring of the cash is done through a vehicle, and this vehicle, as we know, uses fuels, and a result of using up these fuels to generate energy, we have carbon. Therefore, if you think about it properly, it contributes to sustainability development goals dealing with climate change. Therefore, you have to protect the climate. And then why is this point true? This is because cryptocurrency transactions are typically much faster and cheaper than traditional bank transfers. Wouldn't you like your country to be among the top-notch? And among these top-notch countries, they have economic activities that instantly, I want a service and I get it immediately. Imagine this. Picture this in your mind. In fact, I am supported by the IDP fact that 0.3% increase in GDP can be brought by a 1% increase in economic activity, and therefore I rest my case. Thank you very much.
First speaker, team opposition, you have 3 minutes.
I heard you say that money talks, but cryptocurrency sinks. But where does this cryptocurrency sinks? That is what I'm going to show you today. I am Peter Chege Kariha, ready to oppose the fact that Kenya should adopt cryptocurrencies as a formal means of local trade. An advisory from the office of Data Protection Commissioner, that is the ODPC, said to the Kenya's Interior Ministry that he should suspend the local activities that the cryptocurrency WorldCoin that was released on Friday, the 20th of July, 2023, all its activities due to the potential risks and safety that it that it has enacted. The fact that cryptocurrencies have been introduced in our countries, one thing, it has not been regulated. And the fact that it's not regulated, it makes it unsafe and risky for us to use. Yes, the country is slowly accepting the fact that cryptocurrency can be a formal means of exchange, but the fact that it is not regulated, it poses a great threat in our country. Kithure Kindiki said that relevant security, financial services, and data protection agencies have commenced inquiries and investigation to establish the reason why this WorldCoin has started collecting data regarding things, because what they were doing, they were scanning the iris of individuals in order for them to be logged into this cryptocurrency account. But the fact that we don't know what these cryptocurrencies and data protection that they're using, we don't know where it's going to be used. We don't know where and how it will be used to exploit our individuals. Then let me take you through the qualities of a good currency. For a currency to be accepted in a society or a country, like in our case Kenya, it should be generally accepted. And the fact that Kenya so far so good is so dependent on the local currency, that is the paper money and the coins that we have at the moment. And the fact that it has been accepted, it makes us to be better and better. According to the 2021 census of the population that are counted, it showed that 53 million are the total population in Kenya, and out of that, only 4.5 million know and own cryptocurrencies. Therefore, it shows us that cryptocurrency should not be accepted as a formal means of trade, since it has not yet been exploited by many individuals. It has not yet been seen and not yet shown the advantage that it brings. Another good quality of a good currency is that it should be divisible. We all know that currency, our paper money, can be divisible in many ways into smaller denominations. The fact that it can be broken down to 50 shillings, 10 shillings, 5 shillings. But know that the cryptocurrencies that we have right now, they carry a lot of value. We have many various types of cryptocurrency, one being the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, the Cardano. And currently, as I speak, one Bitcoin is equivalent to 4,169,245 shillings. What if I want to buy something worth 30 bob? Will that make me not buy goods because the fact that cryptocurrency are that expensive and of that value? See the sense in that, my friends. Then why should Kenya not adopt cryptocurrency as a formal means of trade? One thing that cryptocurrency is thinking at cyber hacking. What is cyber hacking? The fact that it is posing a threat to the government and to the sense that it has brought insecurities and stuff like that. People are being laundered of their money. People are being sanctioned of their finances. There have been embezzlement of funds in our country due to the fact that we are accepting cryptocurrencies in our country. And according to the report of the Cybersecurity Search magazine, it shows that there have been possible consequences of cryptocurrency, in the sense that it has led to the laundering of reports, it has led to the laundering of money and all that kind of report. And if we decide to focus our main trade locals in cryptocurrency, we are even threatening ourselves to that, since other countries like America, the US, the China are even suffering from this. Therefore, my friends, telling us that we should adopt cryptocurrency as a formal means of trade is not the right way. Let us remain constant on what we have at the moment. Thank you.
Second speaker, team proposition, you have 3 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are at a crossroads. In one direction, we can continue down Kenya's path of corruption and opaque transactions. In the other direction, we can take a stroll. We can take a stroll into the more sustainable future by adopting cryptocurrencies. So let's take a walk with me, the second speaker, Fuad Abdurizak, here to strongly propose the motion that states that Kenya should adopt cryptocurrencies as a formal means of trade. Assalamu alaikum. So, as I begin, I'll be starting with some rebuttals. So, what the first speaker has said mainly talked about the qualities of a good currency. Now, the two qualities stood out in this situation where I will talk to rebut. The first thing was, he said that it should be generally accepted. Yes, we agree such. But that's the plan of the government when accepting it as a formal means of trade, by economizing it in regards to regulation. The thing is that the motion is talking about should. Kenya should. That means we're talking about the future aspect of this adoption of cryptocurrencies. So, in the case where it is accepted as a formal means of trade, how sustainable will it be? That's the metric of this debate, and that's what we're looking for as a proposition. So, we haven't come here to give only reasoning. We've also come to give suggestions on a framework. So, for Kenya, a framework for Kenya to be able to adopt cryptocurrency safely and to help use it to develop its economy as a formal means of trade. So, that's why we feel that helping it be regulated, for example, people can the economy can be regulated, or for cryptocurrencies, by first of all regulating exchanges, because crypto exchanges are the platforms where people buy and sell cryptocurrencies. These exchanges can be regulated by requiring them to have licenses to follow the KYC/AML regulations, which are regulations globally regarding cryptocurrencies, and educates consumers about the risks of this cryptocurrency in general panel. So we're generating awareness about this formal means of trade, which will help it as a whole to become a good currency. The second thing is what they're talking about, the denominations. For example, 30 bob, 50 bob. So Bitcoin can be sent in percentage. That's what they have failed to notice. Bitcoin can also be transferred to other means of trade, for example, M-Pesa. It can be transferred by other means, for example, an app called the M-Pesa, which can be used to move from cryptocurrency platforms to M-Pesa. So they have yet to look at such things. So what we're saying here is that these denominations and the general acceptedness of the cryptocurrencies are all things that can be done by the government to make it viable. So as I begin, my point is on increased transparency. So cryptocurrencies are a transparent form of money, which means that it's easier to track transactions. This can help to reduce corruption and money laundering. Now, the thing is that since they are a transparent form of money, they are all transacted and recorded on a public ledger called the blockchain. Now, the blockchain means that everyone can see the details of any transaction, including the sender, the recipient, and the amount of money involved. The thing is that it's still safe as the blockchain stores past transactions and not the money itself. So what we're saying here is that the blockchain isn't worth hacking in regards to stealing money, as none is stored there. The point is that past transactions are stored there. Now, why is that important? Well, the thing is that, for example, South Africa has implemented blockchain technology to increase transparency by using the National Treasury's blockchain-based payment system, where blockchain is used to track payments from the government to the suppliers and contractors. Now, the thing is that in regards, by a report by the South African National Treasury, a year before that was implemented, there were over 1,000 reported cases of fraud and corruption in the government. A year after that, it fell to under 350. So what we're trying to say here is that it will help in the SDG number 16, target 16.5, which is improving governance and reducing corruption. That's the target 16.5, which aims to substantially reduce corruption in all forms, which will be helped by this increased transparency of cryptocurrencies, which is why we as Side Proposition feel that we should adopt cryptocurrencies as a formal means of local trade. Thank you.
Second speaker, team opposition, you have 3 minutes.
Call me Robert Boyle, or because I am here to provide a solution containing facts and the bitter hard truth. I heard the second proposer say that we are at crossroads. I'd like you to specify on the we. It's not we, it's just you. Why am I saying this? We are not at crossroads here, people. Why? He just said that we are crossroads because of these cryptocurrencies. I am here, as David Beckham, here to strongly oppose the fact that Kenya should accept cryptocurrency as a means of local trade. On to my first point. Well, the technical complexity of using and storing these crypto assets can be a significant hazard to new users. What do I mean by this? Most Kenyan citizens are computer illiterate, and that is why they do not know how to use computers, let alone understand what encryption or what these algorithms or what this coding is. But these new users are prone to deception. That is, since they're still trying to understand on the do's and don'ts of cryptocurrencies, because these cryptos are liable to manipulation by influential people such as celebrities or politicians. But I have a solution to this. The government can offer mandatory or compulsory education on IT education to most schools, so as these learners can, if the government, that is if, and actually that is a probability of no, the government cannot adopt cryptocurrencies because of the current affairs it's going through. What do I mean by this? The debts, the inflation, and you said that, I had the past speaker say that bitcoins can be withdrawn. If you actually did your assignment on the motion at hand, these bitcoins cannot be withdrawn. These are digital or virtual assets. Assets, my people, assets. They cannot be withdrawn, they cannot be transacted, and they cannot be sent through M-Pesa or what you've just said. No, that is impossible. On to my second point, it's user risk. According to analytics Insight 2023, about a fifth of all bitcoins are inaccessible due to lost passwords or incorrect sending addresses. Using cryptos, we cannot reverse or cancel our transactions after it has already been sent. What do I mean by this? If you, my people, my learned friends, if you are to transact or make a transaction of 1 million Kenya shillings, 1 million bitcoins or whatever you are trying to propose, you send it to another account. If one single digit is wrong, you cannot reverse, you cannot cancel the transaction. So that is a loss of 1 million you have just gone through. But I have a solution to this. You can just use mobile banking. Through mobile banking, you can just sit back, relax through your mobile phone, and just do simple transactions, and with only one tap of a click, you can just reverse or cancel these transactions if they are wrong. Thank you.
Third speaker, team proposition, you have 3 minutes.
Digital currency. In the guise of cryptocurrency, where wealth is securely stashed, devoid of the mishmash of banks and central authority, where you own and manage your property. Oh, cryptocurrency, the way for the Kenyan nation. A poem on cryptocurrency by the poet himself from the Dynasty Light Academy, Melvin Kabuchi, here to strongly propose the motion that states, Kenya should adopt cryptocurrencies as a formal means of local trade. Now, to address the fallacies that we have heard from the other side of the house. The first speaker told us, quote unquote, it has not been regulated. Where are your facts? Oh, guess what? Surprise, surprise. I have the facts that completely contradict what he has said. Kenya has implemented regulations. Number one, there are implemented laws such as the National Payment Systems Act, administered by the Central Bank of Kenya, the Capital Markets Act, administered by the Capital Markets Authority, Kenya Info and Communications Act, Communications Authority administered. So, what are you saying that it hasn't been regulated? He also tells us the qualities of a good currency. Oh, I think cryptocurrency is the currency to go with. Because he tells us people don't know about it. Educate them. That's the work of the government. The government is going to educate them. And you know what? This is not just a fallacy, because cryptocurrency has worked. And here is an instance. According to the Brazilian government, in Brazil, cryptocurrency was administered, and the Brazilian Tax Authority had an estimate of 16 million people currently using the cryptocurrency. That is 7.8% of the Brazilian population. Now, this percentage contributed $6 billion increase, that is times 3% to their economy. Now look at this. If 7.8% of a population can increase the economy by this much, what about Kenya? Kenya is not an exception. If the US has done it, if the UAE has done it, if Switzerland has done it, if Portugal has done it, Kenya is not an exception. On to my first point. Our solution addresses the SDG number 1, no poverty. How do I do this? Increase financial inclusion. Increase financial inclusion, how? Cryptocurrencies can help to increase financial inclusion by making it easier for people to access financial services. This could benefit those who are currently excluded from the formal financial sector, such as the poor and the unbanked. This will give a rapid increase to the economy, tying to the first point of my proposer who said increase in economic activity. Thus, our population will... the Kenyan economy is going to thrive, as if its current state it's struggling. And mind you, the motion for today says Kenya should adopt. It's not a must. But Kenya will, if Kenya adopts this currency, we are going to go far. We are going to reap the benefits. Perfection is heavenly vocabulary. Our currency, in investing, a quote by Sir John Stedman says that what is comfortable is rarely profitable. cryptocurrency is more profitable because we have shown you the benefits, we have shown you our side of the house, and we have shown you why it's better and why their case is completely nullified. I rest my case.
Third speaker, team opposition, you have 3 minutes.
Ukistajabia chawa utayaone ya kunguni. How dare you come to fool people that we should introduce the use of cryptocurrencies while I can hear coins in your pockets ringing? How is that possible? Okay, I heard you say that the government should educate people. As you know right now, the government is suffering. We don't have money to do this. If you are lacking money to pay the teachers who are teaching you, can we afford the money to introduce such things or to educate people? Okay, I heard you say about Brazil. We are focusing on Kenya. We are not talking on Brazil. So next time, stick on the motion, please. I heard you talk of vocabulary. Please, if you don't know speak English, leave it. On to my first point. Integration challenges, my fellow people. As you all know, in Kenya, we have inadequate infrastructure. What do I mean by inadequate infrastructure? Internet connectivity. As we talk right now, you may find even in your phones that the internet is not convenient, is not adequate. So if we are using cryptocurrencies using internet, then you cannot transact. Like, let's go to the next point. I myself cannot access a phone simply because it is expensive. I myself don't know how to use a phone. So you want to tell me that when we introduce cryptocurrencies, Lanson here will not trade, or Lanson here will not buy things from the canteen? Please, it doesn't make sense. According to Nation Africa, 45% of the total population we have in Kenya are the only people who can get can have access to internet. So what about the 55 people that we have, including me? So what should the government do? And mark my point. If we should introduce the use of cryptocurrencies, then the government should subsidize this, should give a direct line to subsidize these tools. What do I mean by tools? Maybe you don't know. I mean laptops, computers, since many of us, we cannot afford. Okay, according to Daily Nation, 7 out of the 10 individuals in the central have access to internet. What about these people living in Wajir? What about these people living in Marsabit? So you want to say that we are going to be promoting then inequality because we are going to be favoring the well-being in the society. On to my next point. Financial literacy. As you know, if you read the Bible, there's a verse that says, my people suffer because of lack of knowledge. I don't want this to happen to my fellow Kenyans. So, according to Human Welfare Organization, 10% of the Kenyan population we have know about cryptocurrencies. What about the 90%, including me? And I insist, including me. So the solution should be, if we want to introduce the use of cryptocurrencies, then they should make ICT compulsory in our schools so that someone like me can get the access and can get the knowledge to know how to use cryptos. Because I don't see how I can use cryptos without this knowledge. So please, add the government, since you're supporting, add that government of yours to come and introduce IT so that Lanson is going to be capable. Lack of necessary knowledge. So these people, what should we do because our people lack knowledge? We should then, listen, are you listening? We should then, because they lack knowledge, the government should create organizations that are going to come and create awareness to these people. I mean, they come and educate. Another point, on to my third point, decentralization. As you all know, the money that we have in our banks in Kenya right now, they are regulated by the Central Bank of Kenya. My fellow people, tell us the regulator of the cryptocurrencies that you people are talking about. Please, tell us the regulator now that we know the traditional currency is regulated by the government. See, these people incur losses and scams. Where are they going to take their claims? Where are they going to take? But we see in CBK that if once a bank collapse, they give a liquidator who is going to compensate these people. But what about this? My auntie was using these cryptocurrencies. She invested 7 million. Now she loses this. See, she has nowhere to take these claims simply because we don't know the regulator. Please. Asanteni sana.
Team proposition, you have 1 minute for your final submission.
I have only one thing to say. What some claims have been made here are really, really doubtful. I refer to this as the second speaker, or as I say, the third speaker questioned why we used Brazil as an example. As I quote from the previous judges, what they had said is to use a country that has implemented this law to therefore develop itself. And this is why we used Brazil. Brazil is actually a third world country, if you checked your facts right. Therefore, it developed further because of this cryptocurrency. Two, you suggest that there is no current regulator of cryptocurrency. Oh dear house. Maybe they weren't listening when the third speaker came on and suggested to you the regulators of the cryptocurrency in our current law. The acts. I think that they didn't listen properly when they were talking about creating organizations to create awareness. They talked about financial literacy being addressed by ICT, should be compulsory. Don't you think this will benefit the nation? Don't we want to benefit the nation and address the SDG of no education? Thank you very much for supporting us, because I don't think you have your argument points right.
Team opposition, you have 1 minute for your final submission.
You had the guts to say that Brazil should be used as an example. Currently, Kenya is ranked first for all cryptocurrency sales in Africa and 5th worldwide. Yet, we are only having 8.5% of the total population, that is 4.5 million, using cryptocurrencies. Meaning that countries that are ranked second or third maybe have a lower population that are using cryptocurrencies. Remember that we have said that a quality of a good currency that it should be generally accepted. And the fact that you are telling us that the cryptocurrencies have a regulator, it doesn't. Since cryptocurrencies are in many varieties, they have told you there's the Bitcoin, the Dogecoin, the Litecoin, the Ethereum, the Cardano, meaning that different organizations are the one coordinating the activities that run within these transactions. Coming to tell me that it has a regulator, it doesn't. Since one thing, Kenya has not regulated the fact that it should be accepted in Kenya. It is still at its own position, trying to find its way to come as a successful local, as a formal means of local trade. My opposer here has told you that most of us here are financially illiterate, are lacking the basics and the understanding of the fact that we don't have the access. If 55% cannot access internet, and you want to tell me that we should focus on cryptocurrencies as a formal means of trade, it won't be possible, because those people who are suffering and not having the internet access cannot easily transact, cannot easily trade in whatever possible means they want. Thank you.
Isam, as our first speaker, do not begin giving the case journey that the first speaker is going to do this, the second speaker. It wastes your time. Remember, you have only 3 minutes. So give the introduction, hammer your points. The judges will see the flow of the points. Is that okay? So please take note of that. Then Peter, you gave us some statistics, but the sources of your statistics were missing. And that is really important. Somebody will accuse you of cooking these things. So as one of the qualities of a good debater is you must have credible and current statistics. Then David, as the second speaker, your role is equally rebuttaling before you give your points that needed to come out. Melvin, you gave us some examples of where this has worked. But I like the bit that you brought the global perspective than the national perspective, because you're showing how this thing is working elsewhere. And then now what was missing is how will this work in Kenya? Is that okay? That linkage needs to come out. That linkage needs to come out because the motion ties us to Kenya now. If you've laid this case, you've given us these statistics, then say, if we bring this baby home, then definitely we are going to have it bouncing and happy. So that bit needs to come out.
Nyangwa boys, you brought out very good points. Cyber hacking, and all the elements. I want to applaud Peter Shege for laying the foundation very, very concretely. The data protection, and you're up to date with the WorldCoin. That is fantastic. Then you narrated to us what is legal tender. Fantastic. I was expecting, I think I had it. I was expecting to hear that cryptocurrencies today are used largely for speculation. That's what people do. And you give the example, you remember the collapse of the Silicon Valley Bank? There's something like that. You could have Googled that and found it. Because of that speculative nature, it can actually have systemic risks in an economy, jeopardizing all the good that you have made as an economy. But you did very well to talk about, Mudhomi, the challenges that we face in Kenya to adopt that kind of currency. And of course, David Beckham, the illiteracy, the manipulation, you know. And I'm expecting to hear from you, Mudomi, because not Mudomi, Beckham, because you're going to that direction. We are indebted as a country. We have borrowed in hard cash. How do we pay back in crypto? You know, just to bring that disconnect, because you are going that route. So I expected to hear that. And the element of inaccessibility of these coins, you brought that very well. So well done to both of you. I think you did the motion justice. And let's see who takes the day. Thank you.
And the scores are out. The judges have awarded Light Academy with 64.5%, a round of applause. And the judges have awarded Nyangwa Boys High School with 67.5%. Therefore, this makes Nyangwa Boys High School the winners of these debates. Remember, to get more of our content, visit us on all our social media platforms at The Debate Circle on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and on Threads. For now, it's goodbye from us.